anything yet. Although we're live. I don't have any music playing either. Let me get Sonny going. Yeah, you got to pull that little thing off the side there. Hey, darn right.
Yeah, man. Show prep, baby. Show prep. When you don't have internet, you come over and you get it here.
What's up, chat room? What's up, Kill Jadis? What's up, Bial, Matthew Mangus? Ron the Materator in there holding it down. Paul. What did I miss?
Hey, Murph.
Hey, Mosh.
Give me a little bit here in my headset.
You got it, sir. That right there? Oh, no, right there.
There it is.
Okay. Paul's in there. Michelle, Tyrone Graves, Big Shane. He says, holy crap, I'm being alive. Holy crap, we're glad to have you, Shane. Let's see, VL Security Officer. All love and respect, RFR family. Matthew Mangus, Security Officer using work phone. Oh.
Daniel, don't lie. There's only one of you. I love that, Matthew.
Matthew says he's your favorite.
Hello.
Hey, Swag Jeff.
Hi.
Dude, I like your rod. I almost called your jersey a Rod Woodson jersey.
Oh, you stupid ass.
I like your Charles Wells jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Big Shane from the Jose. Love
Hey!
that.
What's
Nice.
up, Big Shane?
Whereabouts you live, Big Shane?
San Jose represent.
Yeah, we were from Willow Glen, and you lived in
Almaden
for a while, and
Seven
Campbell,
Trees and Campbell. I lived
we were all over the damn
all over
place.
that city. All right, let's kick off episode number 239 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Balaknikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, high running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brent Musburger, and welcome to episode number 239 of Raiders Fan Radio. What is up, Raider Nation? We appreciate all of you that are joining us live tonight on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Appreciate everybody jumping in tonight. We have a jam-packed show for you. We have tons of stuff to get to. Of course, we got the NFL Combine around the corner. Let's talk about the least controversial subject in Raider Nation, which is always our quarterback, Derek Carr. And we got some Hunter Renfro clips coming up. But most importantly, we're going to hear from you, the best of Raider Nation in the Sea of Fans mailbag, which has kind of not been the sea lately. It's like the pond of fans. But hey, listen, we'll take all the phone calls and emails we could get. We appreciate you all very much. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat room already. So many of our favorite folks. Kill Jadis is in there. PC God is, PC says, God, I love the show. God, we love you too. Swag Jeff is across from me. We'll get to him in a minute.
Is he in there?
He's in there. Paul's in there. Chronicles of the Black Hole. That is Daniel. He's in there. Pineapple's in there. Pineapple, I swear, the shipping department, the fulfillment department around here at Raiders Fan Radio is trash. It's me. And so I promise I will get your Howie Long helmet in the mail tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're only.
He probably won't ship it tomorrow.
I will. I swear, because I've got to ship that, and I've got to ship a gift package to my son.
Hey Murph, you're
in the
full
Navy.
of ship.
Oh, nice.
But anyways, I got to ship a package to Tristan. My son is in the Navy down in Mississippi, so I've got to get to the post office tomorrow and get that stuff sent out. Pineapple, I promise you, I will send you that. Matthew Mangus is in there. Daniel Mangus with a $10 donation. He says, "Swag, stay out of the Godfather's chair. Don't make me get the baking sheet of doom."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, kill shot coming. We appreciate you, Daniel Mangus, and for that donation, $10 in there. 100% of that money goes to the One Nation Foundation, which we're going to tell you about here in a minute. And all that money through our foundation goes to Raiders-related charities. David Crockett is in there. Michelle Sweat, Foxy Scorpio, Ebony Graves, Carlos, Raider Gears and Threads, Big Shane. He's in Oklahoma now, but he's from the East Foothills off of Alum Rock Avenue.
He's our homie,
He's our homie, man. That's our stomping grounds, man. San Jose. It's where this whole Raider fandom thing came from. Raider Flash, Chris Gang. Oh, my gosh. So many folks here. Cool Kev is in there. But we love all of you that have joined us live, but in the chat room and also live here joining me in the palatial Murph's Fan Cave Studios, where we do this flagship show, Raiders Fan Radio, the man that adorns the western annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk. Let's welcome in the doppelganger to Rob Ryan, the legendary, the one and only Uncle Mosh.
What's going on, Raider Nation?
What's up, Mosh? How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm fired up. I'm tired as a mug.
You're tired up.
I'm tired.
Fired up. You're tired up.
Tired up. I need to be tied up.
Hey. That's for Fridays.
Yeah. At my age, it's for June.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row, Mosh.
And the rumor was, I know that Rob looks like me because I say that because I'm older, but somebody made the crack that maybe Swag and I are the same person because we're never on at the same time.
Well, you know what? And so I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, we can prove that you and Swag Jeff are not the exact same individual. Because
unlike the main guy.
Or unlike the Rob and Rex and you, we can prove because, thankfully, we are so glad to welcome in the third man in the booth for the first time in a minute. All three of us have been here, and let's welcome to the show my best friend and yours. He adorns the southern annex of the western annex of the Murph Fan Cave desk. Welcome to the show, Swag Jeff.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Swaggo.
It's so good to be back.
Oh,
man.
It's so good to have you.
I'm so fired up, Murph. It has been so much fun. We
Wait, Mosh.
What?
Uncle Mosh, what'd you beat up Swaggo for? Well, for those of you that are...
Shut up, stupid!
Okay, so for those of you that are on the audio podcast, Uncle Mosh has just been assaulted by Swag Jeff. They were pulling a ruse where they had switched places, and sure enough, Swag Jeff brought in the baking sheet and beat the hell out of Uncle Mosh there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you okay there, guys?
I so had that one coming.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've been beating everybody. Well, it's only been... How old are you, Jeff?
I've only been waiting to do that for
He's only been
18 years.
getting beat up for 33 years, and oh, there they go. Oh, back at it. There we go. For those of you out in the pocket, they're literally Swag Jeff and Uncle Mosh are literally fighting. Like oh my God, they're knocking stuff down. It's a free for all here in the fan cave. Mosh, here, hit him with that. Hit him with something good. There's a flashlight. Jeez. Oh wow, that's. All right, hold on. What else can I give you? Jeez, beat down these two guys. Tyrone Graves in the chat room says Swaggy J beatdown. It's classic and it never gets old.
Okay.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
We almost spilled a beer.
That
don't
one's
spill beer, don't spill
one's
beer.
still sealed, pal.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's welcome. All seriousness here. Let's get look at this is Raider fandom here. Let's get hardcore and talk about this stuff here. Let's welcome to the show the one and only Swag Jeff. What's up, Swag?
Yeah, my gosh.
You okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're a couple of fat guys over here, man.
Mixing a salad in the treadmill once in a while.
Kiss my ass.
You know what?
What you?
No. I gotta control the camera. You can't.
Well, then better turn it on yours.
Oh, jeez. Let me show you. Oh, shit. That one hurt.
Go.
Oh, damn it. Ah. God dang it, Jeff. You two sit your big asses down and quit hitting me.
You want more?
No, I'm good.
Go with big asses again.
Well, you two svelte, fine-looking gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
Park your derrieres in your chairs and let's go on with the show.
OG Daniel says, "Will Swag win that fight if Uncle Mosh has a heart attack?"
No, Uncle Mosh ain't having a heart attack. He's got a strong heart over there.
No, because I would tell him, hit me in the chest, Swag, hit me in the chest.
Clear.
Oh my gosh.
You can tell we're really into the whole.
It's the offiest
It
of
is
the
so-
off season. Oh my gosh.
Murph goes, ow, Mosh, that one hurt.
That would yeah, because my teeth rattled when you hit me in the back of that, and then Swaggle cracked me in the knee with the freaking pan.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a good shot. Yeah.
Is that the famous pan that she painted?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, Michelle Sweat says, "Wow, Murph with the body shaming."
Yeah, man. What the hell?
I'm not shaming
What was
anybody.
that?
You
go get a salad once in a while. You know what?
Oh,
Bite
no,
me on your salads.
No, just okay. All right. Time to get on with the show.
That one, you got one shot from Uncle Mosh, and you're like, "Ew, stop!" I get ass whippings every other show.
We So Murph running in on the shot. Jeff shoots a double leg. Murph counters with a sprawl, ready to go. Oh.
I should have just pulled that Josh Jacobs move and put you in the bushes like I did last time.
All right, here we go.
Right here at the top of the show.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Jeff, you know what this means?
We really should.
It means we don't have to work out at all for the next month.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're gonna hit the
We ain't got to
cardio,
mix in the treadmill this week.
There you go, boys.
Oh, how
All right.
fun.
Paul says this is taking a strange turn, hasn't it? Yes, absolutely. So we hit the doodly doodaloo, Mosh.
Doodle, 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 doodle. Has everybody done a run-in yet?
I think that's all the run-ins do. Yeah. So the only one we're waiting on to run in now is Swag Jeff, because here at the top of the show, we take our episode number, which is 239, and we tie it back to something significant within Raider Nation. And let's talk about the Raider. Swag Jeff, tell us about the significance of the number 239.
Yes, absolutely. 239. We are going back to 2001. 2001.
Nice.
Yeah,
2001 was a great year for the Raiders.
Great year for sure, man. We're going to be highlighting once again this week the leader under center, Rich Gannon.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
let's
man.
go.
So
Our second favorite number 12.
That's what we've said, man. He's our second favorite 12. So in 2001, Gannon threw for 3,828 yards and 27 touchdowns.
Come on.
He averaged 239 yards a game through the air.
Dude, let's go, Jeff. Give him some applause there, Mosh.
I'm telling you.
That's excellent, dude.
Well, yeah.
Love it.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, great job there, Swaggo.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's so good at taking
I'm
compliments.
so good at that job.
So yeah, you are. And so you know what other job you're excellent at is shouting out the chat room and the amazing donations that are coming in through there. Tell us about what's going on there.
Absolutely. So Daniel Mangus threw in another $10 during our wrestling match there and said it's on. Tap up, Swag. And then Tyrone Graves said, "Swaggy, lay down and play dead. Too much more. You won't be playing." $5 donation. Thank you very much. Ebony Graves with a $5 donation. My midweek outlet. Oh, how I needed the podcast this week, and you guys never disappoint.
Thank
And then
you, Ebony.
Caesar R with a $10 donation says,
Come
Uncle
on,
Mosh,
Cease.
Uncle Mosh, do the Hulk Hogan ear thing.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
there it is. There we go.
Nice.
There you go. That's right. Eat your vitamins and
Eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and you Hulkamaniacs out there, listen to what I'm telling ya. Can you hear me?
Nice. Ron the Materator says, haven't seen horseplay like that since Elway's honeymoon. Oh my gosh. Oh my, that's the best.
That's
my
the best.
goodness.
I appreciate you, Ron the Materator, and everybody else that's in there. Thank you all to all those donations. I'm going to tell you about where all those donations are going to right after the break here. Uncle Mosh, let's hear some contact info.
You got it, Toyota.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes?
I like it.
Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. The Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio. Insta something. Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio.
The ticky-ticky-tocky-tock.
TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Yeah, it was.
So much.
Good.
Oh! Let's go,
Yeah!
Let's go, boys. That was nice. That was
Yes.
nice. Yes.
So before we jump in, Daniel Mangus with another $10 donation says, hey, Murph, remember to always ride the lightning.
Let's go.
For
Okay.
those whom the bell tolls.
Absolutely.
So talk about the shirt.
Well,
They're all bringing it up.
All right, I will. Before we get to that, real quick, I see our buddy Ashton is in there in the chat. I want to shout out Ashton and his sister Alexis for the donation that they made to the One Nation Foundation. They made a direct donation.
Okay.
And so these super chats that we get on the show live, we are so thankful for all those amazing super chats that we get. As Swag mentioned, that last one, that $10 donation from Daniel. You can also, if you're an audio podcast listener or otherwise, or if you listen to us on the YouTube and you want to give in other ways, you can donate directly at our website at RaidersFanRadio.com, and you can click the One Nation Foundation link, which is where our buddy Ashton did this donation at. And that money comes directly to the foundation. It doesn't come through the show. It doesn't come through Google. There's no fees taken out. There's not anything. And so we appreciate him and appreciate everybody that does the direct donations. I just wanted to make you aware of that because, I mean, like our podcast, the audio listens of our podcast way exceed anything that we do here on the YouTubes. So anyone that's listening to us via those platforms, if you're so inclined and choose to give to the foundation, that's a great way to contribute to it. And just know 100% of that money that you give to the foundation goes to Raiders-related charities, mainly the Bolitnikoff Foundation. Guys, I said our goal this year was $20,000. That might have been a little ambitious on my part, but I think 15's in scope. We got about.
We can hit 20.
We can hit 20.
Okay,
It's early.
It's a
Let's
goal.
do it.
We got about $1,500 in right now. It's the beginning of March, so
We got some very loyal listeners that contribute every single week on the podcast and on super chats and stuff like that. So yeah, man, we can totally get it.
We got summer swag coming up. We've got some big stuff coming up. Absolutely. So yes, sir. Go ahead.
You're right. And the thing that people don't realize is that what makes us different than others is that we're not doing this to supplement the income for the show. This is 100% a fundraiser.
100% a fundraiser.
Yeah. And if people watching on the YouTube want to go back and listen on the super chat, you don't even have to go listen and want to donate that way. They can do that too. Anybody can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that all, and again, it's a nonprofit foundation. We founded it, I guess almost 2 years ago now. And you're looking at the board of directors along with our buddy Jeff Murphy down at Domenico's and Jeff's wife, Chris. And so, yeah, it's a nonprofit organization. It's a 501(c)(3). And anyway, so that is what we give out to these various Raider charities. And so thank you so much to all of you. And your amazingly kind donations. And so just a reminder there about the multiple ways that you can give.
And I don't think anybody else does that. I don't know of another one that does that. I don't know.
Well, I got to shout out our buddy Graff. I think he's starting a nonprofit.
But he's not 100% all the money that comes in.
I don't believe so.
No.
But you're the
we're the only one that
gives
100% everything that comes in goes to charity.
Absolutely. And that's not to disparage anybody else's gig.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so thank you to all of you that have done it. So all right, so back to the Metallica thing. So you said for those of you on the audio podcast, I'm wearing a Metallica Ride the Lightning T-shirt, and the reason that I'm wearing it is that one of the things that we would like to give respect to here at the top of the show. We don't give props, we don't do shout outs. There's nothing wrong with those things, but we're a tiny like to give respect. So we like to give respect to a handful of folks tonight, but I want to give respect to the band Metallica, but mostly the lead singer, to James Hetfield. James is a longtime Raider fan. There are some really high profile Raider fans, from Tiger Woods, Ice Cube, of course. Like there's many of them. And James is one of them. And James is, through the toughest of Raider times to the best. He's always, you see him at games sitting next to Freddie Bolitnikoff or like doing various things. And, so this last week, the Metallica played Allegiant Stadium. They played, Greta Van Fleet opened up for them, and Metallica played.
My new favorite band, by the way.
They're great. They're fantastic. And so, so Metallica played, and they were great. And I apologize, I don't have the pictures handy to show you, but if you go through like Derek Carr or some of the other Raiders, their Instagrams and whatnot, you could see that like the band was meeting with Raider players before they went live. It was really it was really cool. Like I'm telling you, James wears his Raider fandom out just wide open. And so just much respect to him for doing that. And then also, just to kind of give you like what his bona fides are in terms of being a Raider fan. So back in 2002, when the Raiders played the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game was at Oakland, and Metallica played a full concert. So this is kind of like a Raiders and pop culture / respect segment here. So Metallica pulled up in a trailer, a 18-wheeler tractor trailer, flipped it. Well, as soon as I tell you more about this, you'll remember.
Oh yeah.
So flipped down the front of the trailer, opened it up into a stage, and played in front of thousands and thousands of Raider fans in the freaking parking lot. In the parking lot. You'll remember this because back in those like around that time, 2002, 2003, the internet was starting to get up and running to where you could download video. I downloaded the video of Metallica playing in front of a bunch of Raider fans and played it for you. Do you remember this?
I do remember that.
And it was in my old office at my old house. And I was like, oh, check this out, Mosh. This is cool. And like, I was going to show you like a song. And then it was like that song got done and I went to like grab the headphones and you're like, get out of here. And you like sat there and listened to the whole thing. You remember that?
Yeah. But I do remember that.
So I can't play it because it will get in trouble with all kinds of copyright issues. But here's the very beginning. So this is Metallica, 2002 AFC Championship game. Oakland freaking Coliseum parking lot. This is the best.
Hello, friends! We are Metallica, and we are here for your pre-game entertainment for your Oakland Raiders! So you guys pumped up? Are you ready? Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that much time.
All right, there they go.
Oh,
there they go. It's so freaking awesome. So you can find it on YouTube. Just Google Metallica Raiders parking lot. You'll find it. It's an incredible, especially if you're a fan of Metallica. You will absolutely, and you're a Raider fan, like it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like it just goes together perfectly. It's great. So anyway, much respect to those guys. Much respect. So last thing I'll say. I ordered the CD set. Metallica releases the CD versions of all of their concerts. I ordered the CD set. I pre-ordered it. It'll be here sometime in April because I'm hoping that at the show, I looked for some video of it. I didn't find any of them talking about the Raiders. I'm hoping to find some like cool comments from Metallica and the other guys in terms of like the team itself. So listen for that upcoming.
I think it's hilarious that you being people don't realize it, or maybe they do, that you're like this music junkie.
I'm a junkie.
You know,
yeah
you are a music junkie, and I'm a food show junkie.
Yeah, you
I
are.
watch every food show. I mean, I record them, you know, and I do. I record them, and my guy is Guy Fieri, who is
another guy. There you go.
Is a Bay Area guy who went to school. Where did he go to college? Las Vegas.
Oh, he went to UNLV.
He went to UNLV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So grows up in middle of California, being a Raider fan, goes to UNLV where the Raiders now are, and he's this huge Raider fan. You
That's
know?
awesome.
Yeah, so he's great. And he's got a super Camaro too.
Oh, yeah. Little diner driving.
Little diner driving.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Love it.
All right, so and then real quick, then one last one I want to give some respect to. Let's give respect to the guy that used to wear number 11. The arguably, well, it's not even arguably. He is the greatest kicker in the history of the Oakland, Las Vegas, Los Angeles Raiders. So let's give it up for Sebastian Janikowski. So Seabass turns 44 today. So much respect to Seabass. Today's his birthday, March 3rd. And just to give you a little bit of an indicator about the significance of this guy's career, the records that he holds, longest field goal in overtime of 57 yards, most field goals in one quarter, which is 4, most field goals of 50-plus yards in a career, 58, most field goals attempted of 60-plus yards in a career, 8, most field goals of 50-plus yards in one game, 3, tied with Justin Tucker. F. Tucker sucks. Most extra points in a Pro Bowl, 8, and longest field goal attempt, thanks Lance Kiffin, 76 yards.
Nice.
Let's give it up for Sebastian Janikowski.
And now, isn't he? He's also he has the longest career as a Raider as well, right?
Does he?
I think he might.
Educate us, man. I don't know.
I think so. I'll look that up.
Look that up.
I thought that was Blanda.
Well, Blanda played for the Bears and the Oilers and a bunch of other teams first, so maybe totality of career. Yeah, Blanda by far.
Because Blanda played well into his... Because if Blanda and Sebastian were playing right now, Blanda would say, why are you retired?
Yeah, what's up, kid?
You're only 44.
Yeah, you're only 44. Yeah.
Yeah, find that out, Hefe. All right, are we going to go audio?
Let's do an audio bite. Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, man, I got a couple of them here. Speaking of special teams
nice.
and shit.
I love it.
Hi, this is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
This is Trent Sig, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph, Swag Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Just win, baby.
Yeah, so Sebastian Janikowski leads all Raider players. He played 268 games in silver and
No
black.
kidding.
Let's go.
Where George Blanda played, he played 126 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's second? Probably Tim Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How many?
We'll talk about that next week.
I like
A little
the
tease.
tease.
Nicely done,
baby.
Swag Jeff. Nicely done. All right, so gentlemen, here at the top of the show, I've got a little bit of a conversation before we get into talking about Derek Carr, the least controversial subject in Raider Nation. There's a cool announcement that came out this week. Very, very cool. The Hall of Fame game this year.
Yeah.
So this is the game. This is the very first preseason game. This is the game that gets played on the weekend that all of the newly inducted Hall of Famers give their speeches and are celebrated. It's an incredible weekend for football. It's one of my favorite weekends for football because we get football. Like it's the first preseason game. Even though it's early August, it's still football. They've been like barely practicing, but it's such a fun time. And so it's the Raiders and the Jaguars, Uncle Mosh, that are playing this year. So there's a good chance we could win, although wins are insignificant in the preseason. But I got some fun little facts here for you.
Okay.
Okay. So the Raiders, historically, they've been playing this game since 1962. This is when they started the Hall of Fame game. And they haven't always correlated the teams that are in the game to the significance of the players that are getting inducted. Okay? So that's a recent thing. So the reason that it's the Raiders and Jaguars is that you've got Cliff Branch and you've got longtime offensive tackle for the Jaguars, Tony Baselli, right? So there's a Raider connection and a Jaguar connection. Well, that hasn't always been the case, but there is one of these games that the Raiders played in historically where there was a tie-in after they started it. I don't know what year they started tying it in, but you'll hear about the one that is significant here in a sec. So I mentioned there's 3 times. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to throw you the year, and then you see if you guys want to try to guess any of the Hall of Famers that were inducted in that year. It's kind of a tough.
Sure,
question.
that is tough. Go ahead.
Okay, July 28th, 1979. The Raiders beat the Cowboys 20-13. Now there is a slight Raider connection that one of the guys inducted in the Hall of Fame played his last season in the NFL with the Raiders. In fact, his autograph is on that 60th anniversary sign over there. He played one season, 1971. He played with the Raiders. But the class that he went in with in 1979, like this is some of the all-time greatest of greats. And you guys want
was that Starbucks year?
That's a great guess. You're thinking about the right era of player, yes.
Okay.
Not quite, because he was still playing. 79 is the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of classic.
You got to be out 5 years before you can go in.
Got to be out 5 years.
So they had the last year they could have played was 74. Ooh.
Yeah, so you're talking like big time classic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Think linebacker, one quarterback are like regarded as 2 of the all-time greats.
Yeah. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Okay. All right. So linebacker. So when I say
Butkus.
Yes. Let's go.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
there you go.
Yeah.
When you
say linebacker, who else comes to mind?
First one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Boom.
Butkus.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So Dick Butkus, of course, middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears. So if I say, think about that era, so that late 60s, early 70s, when I say quarterback, who do you think of?
Well, Matthew popped up here, Blanda, but I'm not going to say that.
No, it's not Blanda.
Oh, gosh.
I'll give you.
Go ahead.
Black cleats.
Oh, no kidding.
Johnny Unitas. So you got Ron Mix, who offensive tackle, who played his last year with the Raiders. Ron Mix, Dick Butkus, Johnny Unitas, and Yale Larry. I didn't know much about Yale Larry. He was an old school Detroit Lions player, versatile guy, did like punt returns, played defense, all kinds of good stuff. So all right. So there's 1979. 1993, 0 Raider connection, but the Raiders win. The Raiders beat the Packers 19-3 in that game. And there is some more big names. Okay, so after Dick Butkus, or probably before Dick Butkus, who's the biggest Bears name that comes to mind? When I say Chicago Bears, who do you think of first?
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton goes in 1993. All right. Swag Jeff, if I say Niners coach, who do you think of? Bail him out, Mosh.
Walsh.
Walsh.
Bill Walsh.
Course.
There you go. Yeah, Bill Walsh and Walter Payton go in 1993, along with a Chargers quarterback. Dan Fouts, man. There you go. Yeah, not only is a Charger, but he went to Oregon. All right, so I know. So Larry Little, that was also in there, and then Chuck Noll. So, and Pittsburgh Steelers. All right.
Pittsburgh.
All right, so now we get to 2006. Third time the Raiders have played in this game. August 6th, 2006. The Raiders win again. We are undefeated in the Hall of Fame game.
Seriously?
I know this one.
Good. I'll throw it to you then. Raiders win 16-10. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that get inducted into the class of 2006 Hall of Fame. But the biggest name is who, Jeff?
John Madden.
Thank you. It's John Madden. 2006. That's when Coach gets in, and we played like I mentioned the Eagles there because John Madden for the Raiders, and then for the Eagles. You guys want to take a swipe at it? Biggest Eagle player maybe ever, like in size and impact. He had a famous thing that when he would rush the quarterback, he'd say, "Jesus is coming." Jesus is coming. And he'd scare the crap out of offensive linemen. The great,
oh my God.
Yeah, the Reverend, man, Reggie White.
Reggie White.
The Minister of Defense, man.
Yep.
So Reggie White goes in with
From
Troy.
Tennessee, right?
Sure was,
Yeah, from
yeah.
the University of
That's
Tennessee,
right, yeah. Goes in with Troy Aikman, Harry Carson, the great linebacker for the Giants, Warren Moon, and Rayfield Wright. So a pretty cool class there for Madden. And so, yes, so here we go. Got the Hall of Fame game coming up. And, yeah, good stuff there, man. Look forward to can't wait to see it. It's going to be fresh out of this offseason. We're going to see our newly acquired free agents, and we're going to see your quarterback,
Derek Carr.
All right, so let's talk about Derek Carr.
We might see some Marcus Mariota, too.
What a transition there. That was
It's a preseason game.
That was seamless. Hey, Swaggo, tell us about the chat room before we get into this Derek Carr stuff.
Oh my gosh! So let me scroll back up just a little bit because there was a couple of great donations. Aaron the Q Dog Raider with a 1911 donation.
Thank you, Aaron.
Says this show is 100% fundraising in the most ridiculous manner possible. Respect.
Hey,
Yeah,
you know what? We need to put that on a T-shirt.
I love
100% fundraising in the most ridiculous manner
I love
possible.
it. And then Kevin the Raider Nerd with a $20 donation.
Oh, Kevin, thank you.
Metallica Ride the Lightning was my first Metallica album I listened to. My favorite Metallica song is For Whom the Bells Toll.
Let's go. Time marches
for
on.
sure.
Let's go.
Absolutely. But let's see. Tyrone Graves is in there. Matthew Menga. Schmucky the Raider Bear's in there. Kill Jadis. Paul is in there.
Paul?
I said Kill Jadis. Ron the Mater Raider. Kevin the Raider Nerd. Raider Gears and Threads. Fargo's in there. Paul is in there. Let's see.
Your
who else we
girl's in
got?
there.
Michelle Sweat is
All
in
the
there.
Manguy is in there. The whole Manguy family's
The
there.
whole Manguy family's in there. Atticus B. Rockin's in there. Heat Freak is in there. Corey Brum is in there. Let's see.
So
Coach Davis is in there. What's up, Coach?
Yeah, Coach was in
Yeah,
there for a minute.
Pineapple's in there. We got the whole crew, man.
Awesome. So, but there's like 75 people in there and like 28 likes.
Yeah.
What's
Hit
up with
the
that?
damn
Come
button, nerd.
on.
Press the damn button, nerd.
Press the damn button.
Press
what
the
else you got to
damn button,
do?
Just
nerd.
press the damn button, nerd.
Yeah, man. What else you got to do? Hit the button. And hey, listen, because anything that you do to help out our show, whether that's a like, a subscribe, a comment, a review, any of that stuff, even if you don't have the means or whatever to contribute to the show to get to the One Nation Foundation, just know this, that every dollar that you give us goes direct, but also all of those promotional things that you can do to support the show, all that helps us because it helps us generate advertising dollars from our good friends at Fansided and Just Blog Baby, our good partners of ours. Any of that money that we get, and we take that, and that goes to the One Nation Foundation also. So any support you can give the show, we appreciate you very, very much. All right, let's talk about Derek Carr.
Who?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to lead off with this. Here we go. Let's. I'm going to hit. Where am I? Okay.
Where are you at, buddy?
Remember, of course you do, because you were here.
I was here.
Last week, we talked a lot about Derek Carr, and we talked a lot about the Raiders extending Derek Carr and why it was, you know what I mean? Like why it made sense and all that kind of stuff. For those of you that are on Twitter and have an affinity for dogging the QB and or wondering if he will be your QB next year, that whether you're from the Mariota camp or you're from the wherever camp, like here's what I tell you all the time. Mark Davis is going to be your owner. Josh McDaniels is going to be your coach. And Derek Carr, Uncle Mosh, is going to be your starting quarterback. So says our new head coach.
I've really had an opportunity to meet him a number of times already. He's there. He stays there with his family. Faith, family, and football are really important to him, and so, look, he's been a leader of this franchise for a number of years. I'm getting to know him as a person. I'll get to know him more as a player, more than what I've just been able to see on tape as we go into the spring and into the summer. But excited that we have a veteran leader on our football team that knows how to play the position, that's won a lot of big games. Excited to see what we can do together.
So there's always going to be rumors when you a new regime coming in, and you got a quarterback who's entering the final year of his deal. Can you say definitively, barring injury, Derek Carr's your starting quarterback week one?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I really am excited about this opportunity to work together. I know what he's done, and I know what we might be able to do going forward together, and that's what really excites me. Looking forward to building that process as we go into April, May, June, July. and continue to grow together. It's really an important relationship, the head coach, the quarterback, the play caller, the quarterback. There's got to be a synergy there, and I believe that we're on our way to doing that.
All right, so last week, Jeff, when you weren't here, Mosh and I had a long discussion about Derek, and we had a long discussion about Josh McDaniels as well, and that, and I speculated that I don't think he takes this job if it isn't for Derek Carr. And you can hear it right there. Like, he's already in with Derek. Like, there's no question around, and we can all like Marcus, and we can like the different dynamic that he could bring, or whoever, because Marcus might end up leaving this year and go somewhere else.
No.
But you know what I mean? But it's Derek, and the end, period.
Well, and we talked about it the week prior when Mosh wasn't here, that, that there was tons of rumors swirling around, and they asked on the Dan Patrick Show, as the New England Patriots, were you trying to get Derek Carr at the trade dedeadline? And he was like, I
can't talk about that.
I can't talk about it. So that meant yes.
Yeah.
So he wanted this guy last year. So, so instead of trading to get him last year, he just decides to come to Vegas. So, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Makes sense. Absolutely. So good stuff there from Josh McDaniels. I love the fact that you didn't get a coach speak there. Right, Mosh? You didn't get we'll see when we go into the, we haven't even practiced yet,
well,
or whatever.
We're going to have to get here, and we're going to get the workouts, and we're going to see how the offense gels with the new packages that we delivered. And no, you didn't get that.
You didn't get that.
So, I want to go on a record as saying.
Okay.
And I said it to both of you earlier, about 4 o'clock, about 2 hours before we went on the air. We were sitting around, we were talking about life stuff, and I made the comment that I had a boss one time that told me, you can complain, you can whine, you can bitch, and you can moan. And then when you leave, I'm going to go, well, that person just is a crazy, and they just wanted to whine, complain, bitch, and moan. Or you can come in with a real legitimate gripe and say, this is what's wrong and this is what's broken. This is how we fix it. And I think so much of the Derek Carr chit-chat is exactly the first part of that, is whining, bitching, moaning, and complaining. And the motivation behind that is our team as a whole wasn't producing the way they wanted. Heck, we made the playoffs. We hit 10
under the utmost of adversity.
We hit 10 and 7 under the utmost adversity, but there's not a lot of legit, this is where our problem is, this is how we go about fixing it. Now, you will get content creators, Q-Dog, others in the chat that have said, hey, we need to address our lack of defensive corners. This is how we can do it. We can draft this person, okay? But you don't hear a lot of that when it comes to Carr. You hear a lot of, oh, Carr sucks. Man, we'd be so much better with Brady in his heyday. Well, come on.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly. We're not getting a lot of that. We're getting just a lot of complaints. And that is what I hear mostly when I do get my phone to work and I'm able to read, when Jeff helps me and I'm able to read Twitter and blah, blah, blah. But seriously, that's not a legit argument. Carr sucks. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you for your opinion. Now, did you want me to comment on your opinion, or did you want me just to hear you complain?
Amen, Mosh. Well put. And absolutely, because like we talked about last week when we ran down the list of the 32 predominantly starting quarterbacks in the NFL this last year, who do you want? What's the alternative there? So,
right. And you think about, look at what Derek did this past season with the receiving group that he had. Obviously, you lose Henry Ruggs. Hurts. It's horrible. Darren Waller goes down for half the season. So you got your and Brian Edwards underutilized. So you have Hunter Renfro and Zay freaking Jones as your two guys and leads the team to the playoffs. Let's address some other things and let Derek eat.
Hey, man, dude. Let's go. And I'm glad you brought up Renfro because I've got some great clips coming up here in a minute. Renfro made an appearance on the Players Club podcast, and there's some audio gold in there. Before we get to that, let's talk about for what Josh McDaniels is going to do with Derek, and even broader than just Derek, but the offense as a whole. You know, again, I'm gonna stand on this soapbox. I don't think Josh McDaniels is our head coach if Derek Carr isn't our quarterback. I think that he saw that he has a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL. Is he Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers? Like, no, but no one's pretending that he is. But guess what? You don't have to have that to win a Super Bowl. Like and I don't even think Derek would tell you that. Like, and it's okay. It's not like you're only the third or 8th or 12th best person in the world that can do this job. I'm sorry, that's not a knock. Okay, so let's check in with David Carr, who is often a mouthpiece for his brother, and him talking about when Josh McDaniels came to the Raiders, he's already talking to Derek about what his plan is for the offense. This is fantastic stuff.
Nailed it. I think the interactions that Derek has had with Josh have been incredibly positive. And I think that the main thing that sticks out is what you mentioned, is that they are two guys that have a very, very concrete plan of what they want to do. Like, that was what was kind of surprising to, maybe not surprising, as you probably expect that from a guy with Josh's experience, but he came in and already knew what he wanted to do on offense and knew who he wanted to do it with, and the personnel he had a really good feel for. And Derek was like, he knew a lot about guys, and he's not even in this building. Like, he knew what made them tick. He knew what they were good at. He knew where he was going to be able to put them in the offense to have them succeed. And for not even being in the building and knowing those intricacies and knowing what kind of makes guys tick, it was kind of freakish that he was able to figure that out without being in the building. So that was a really cool sign for Derek. He pinpointed all the things that Derek has been focused on over just the last couple of weeks as you reflect back on the season, where they can improve, how they can get better from a X's and O's standpoint to a player standpoint. And Josh kind of was right on the same page, So Josh has definitely been thinking about this Raiders team longer than just 2 weeks. Like, he's done some research for sure.
Isn't that awesome? So, I mean, Mosh, coach all your life. Like, how encouraging is that to know that, like, McDaniels has already started doing the homework on it. He's already got a plan. He ain't been in the building barely yet.
I would hope.
Okay.
These are guys that get about 4 hours of sleep a night their whole life. As long as they're in this job, it goes with it. So yeah, the man's doing his research. If they're not going to make it. They're not going to be one of the 32 head coaches. Come on, Absolutely. They better be, or they're gonna be out of a job. So. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the forethought that goes into it, the idea that he's already begun planning. He's already communicating with Derek. Great stuff there. Also, he also commented around, and Swaggo, I want to go to you after this soundbite. This is really interesting because we've talked a lot about, in terms of coaching, how rigid, whether it be Gus Bradley or even John Gruden, were at times around like installing their scheme or like sticking to their system.
Sure.
Where a guy like our new defensive coordinator, Derek Graham, how he's going to be willing to he's like, I don't know, I'll wait till I get in the building and I'll see the guys and then I'll figure out what kind of scheme we're going to run when I see what kind of personnel we have and what the talent and the skill sets are. I got a feeling they're going to do the same thing, or Josh McDaniels is going to do the same thing offensively. And again, to go back to David Carr and some of his comments, he talks about that, about Josh is going to tailor this offense.
First off, the really nice part is it's a system that is very similar to what John did and what Derek has been doing over the last couple of years, where there's a lot of power to the quarterback and there's a lot asked of him, from a pre-snap standpoint, shifts and motions, identification of coverage, what they're doing on defense, as opposed to some teams come in and they'll put in a system like, for example, like Kyle Shanahan's system in San Francisco. It's just kind of, you just rip through progressions. We don't care what the defense is doing, right? On the flip side, what Josh wants you to do is we want to know not only what the defense is doing, but what leverage the middle linebacker is playing, what leverage is the nickel playing in this coverage. And the great thing is he's got a quarterback that can definitely do that. That's Derek's best quality, in my opinion. Ever since we've broken down film when he was 10 years old, that's why he's such a good player, is because he gets that. He knows everything the defense is doing. He knows everyone's job on the defense, and he'll line guys up. Like, I've seen him in games against opponents, he'll just wait. He knows the guy's coming down. He knows he's supposed to be in this gap. And so for Josh's system to kind of highlight that, that's great. They couldn't have brought in a better guy, honestly, because if it was another guy, I would be a little bit hesitant. If it was another system that was different to that was more progression-based, all right, we're going to take a lot of the pressure off Derek. Like, that's not what you want to do with him right now, especially with where he is in his career. You get to a point in your career as a quarterback where you want all of that responsibility on you because you know what they're doing, and you can only guess so well as to what they're going to play. You can send me a play, and it might sound great, and you might like it, but as soon as I line up and they change the defense, we're kind of stuck. But if I can adjust or I can have routes built into that play that I can adjust versus anything. I got a guy like Hunter Renfro, which I have a crazy amount of respect for, and Derek loves, and they can feel each other out and feel the coverage out and find soft spots. That's what you want, man. And so it was a great hire by Mark. I don't know if he thought about that. Maybe he just liked the Patriot way. Maybe he wanted to try that. Maybe he's seen it be successful for so long that, that combination of GM and head coach, he just wanted to see what that was like. But, man, he hit a home run because the guy that he brought in just happens to be the perfect fit for your quarterback, in that system that they run. And you think about personnel-wise, too. It's like when the Patriots have always been successful, they've had a good tight end. Gronkowski got a pretty good one in Waller, right? Hunter Renfro's always been that, like, Edelman-type guy, right? Move him around, do option routes. They already established that. They got a good run game. So, yeah, you fill a couple pieces in, and away we go.
Yeah, so what I like about these guys with Josh McDaniels and with Graham, it seems like they're willing to put the players in the best position to succeed at any given time. They're not going to stick to one certain scheme. We're not going to be stuck in this old school offense that John Gruden had for so long. And hey, if they change, if they audible, if the defense does something different, hey, this is the way that I run my offense, so you just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Well, now Derek's going to have more freedom, and the coordinators and the coach are going to be able to adapt and be like, okay, well, this guy is really good at doing this. Let's move him over here and let him do that. Let's let all these people succeed in what they're good at. So, I mean, what can't you like about that?
I think Josh Jacobs, too. Like, we've talked a lot about Derek, and rightfully so, because it's, the offense, obviously is built around the quarterback. But, like, I think McDaniels is going to do some amazing stuff with Josh Jacobs. When you look at what the Patriots have always done with look at like, you go way back to like Corey Dillon and they've all, but like Kevin Falk or like, you know what I mean? Or like
James White,
Sony Michel. Like there's always been so much versatility within their players. Rex Burkhead, like whatever. Like think about all the times that like you'll watch a Patriot game and all of a sudden some random running back is killing them. Or killing whatever team you're watching them play, and you're like, what the crap? Well, that's McDaniels. That's that innovative offense that he's going to bring, and so
it's going to be fun to watch him and Kenyon Drake.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, yeah, because think about like red zone, like where we struggled, and of course, I know Drake got hurt, but like you got players that have the versatility of Jacobs and Drake and maybe
Peyton
Mariota
and Barber
and all. Like it's going to be fantastic what the Raiders are going to do in the red zone. All right, so we talked a lot about offense. Let's go to the defensive side. I haven't even heard this sound clip. I grabbed it and I brought it down for the show. I hadn't had a chance to listen through it, but I do know that McDaniels is talking about the effectiveness of a four-man front on defense. And I'm curious because everything about McDaniels is offense. So it's going to be interesting to hear about although Graham is going to be the guy calling the shots on game day and installation-wise and all that, it's nice to hear what McDaniels' philosophy may be in terms of playing defense.
We've talked about this a lot. Anymore in today's NFL, 80 to 85% of your defense is in nickel or dime, and so the concept of being a 4-3 or 3-4 is kind of almost, it's kind of almost out of the window now. What we want to do is we want to try to be able to play to the strengths of the players that are on our roster. We have some really good players that played in a four-man line last year. We're going to try to accentuate their strengths. And at the same time, we want to be multiple enough to be able to change some things from week to week if we need to or feel like we have to try to give us the best chance to stop the opponent. So, there'll be a level of multiplicity that hopefully we can grow and graduate to. But the biggest thing for us is try to make our players successful by putting them in great positions.
can't hear the question.
Absolutely. Everybody, I have great respect for Bill and that process, and spoke to him directly multiple times about, any interest that I had in people that were there, and I'll keep those conversations
draft strategy is I'm assuming what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Private, but never want to do the wrong things relative to those things. Obviously, feel very fortunate that I had an opportunity to add a few people that I've worked with before, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah, just try to do the right things relative to communicating, with him or any other coach for that matter, if you're interested in somebody that works in their organization.
Never mind. So he's talking about coaching staff there. So he's talking about building the coaching staff. That's where he sought Bill's input on building probably position coaches and whatnot. So yeah.
So I have a comment on that.
Okay.
I don't understand. and there's so many of our listeners, and I know there's so many of our folks in the chat right now tonight that can understand what I'm coming through when I lay this out there. If you are a boss, if you are a coach, if you are a director, if you are a person that has any group of people that play or perform underneath you or for you, why would you not play to their strengths? Why?
Thank you.
It's the most simplest thing in the entire world. The KISS rule. And I don't mean Gene Simmons' little band. I mean the keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you not play? If you are, and you and Swaggy are salesmen, and oftentimes you guys work together, and your bosses have no problem with that because you produce. They play to those strengths. Why would you not do that? I don't care what field you're in. I don't care what it is, from doing what I do, directing plays, to what he does in coaching football. You play to those strengths. I don't care what damn system it is. You play to the strengths. And if you're not playing to the strengths, it's why you're not winning. Because, number one, you don't have the people with that strength, so you go out and you draft them. Or you've got them in the wrong schemes. And I think we as Raiders fans have suffered with coaches who have played their schemes, not played to the strengths of what our people can do.
I could not agree with you more. I think that thank you, Mosh. Give yourself applause for that. It is perfectly put.
I don't need it.
Yes, it's perfectly put. And I think it's ego. You ask the question, why would you not? It's ego. It's like, well, this is my thing. And so because I came up with it and I'm so smart and I'm so brilliant that all I need to do is get the people to go in there and plug in, and then this thing is going to be great. And unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't work. And there's one of my favorite quotes, and in terms of leadership study, is that culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Yes.
You could come up with the biggest strategy in the world, but if you don't have the folks, and I'm talking about institutional leadership, whether it be at a company or a school or a church or whatever your vision is, whatever your strategy is, if you don't have the people to pull it off, it's not going to work.
It's for
right. So why not adjust your strategy to fit your culture, or in this case, the talent of your people on your football thing? I'm with you. It's the most asinine thing in the world. Because to me, the only thing that's going to drive my ego is W's. Put more numbers in this column that are in this column.
Yep.
That drives my ego. Forget, that's the only stat I care about. Who cares what the offense? Who cares how you define it? And I love that that's what he's talking about, defensively, Jeff, is that it's you can call 4-3, you can call 5-2, you can call 3-4, you can call whatever you want. We're just going to put people out there that can make plays and set them up for success.
Yeah, don't call it anything. Just, this is the Raiders defense, man, and it's going to change all the time.
McDaniel's not going to go into the Hall of Fame as a player.
No.
But McDaniel could go into the Hall of Fame as the one that turns the Raiders around.
Hey, man, let's go.
Totally. And so why not? Why not play that? So what do? You surround yourself. You're not a micromanager. You surround yourself with a brain trust that's there to help you evaluate the talent that you have. Those people that are, whether it's in business or whether it's in sports or entertainment, those people that surround themselves with folks that can evaluate the talent they have and place them in the positions that need to be to perform well are the ones that are going to excel.
Gosh.
You know, I mean,
I got nothing. That's so money, Mike. Love it. Love it. Great stuff. All right. Hit us a break or a breath or something. That's awesome.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
Hey, what's up? It's Brockman from The Rich Eisen Show.
And it's Del Tufo from The Rich Eisen Show.
You're listening to Murph and Mosh on Raiders Fan Radio. Yes!
Hey, Swaggo, before we move on to, I've got some great clips. Or speaking of players to be put in positions to be successful, I've got some great clips from Hunter Renfro. But before that, I know Corey had a significant donation. Tyrone's had one. Anything else in there too? Please shout out the chat and also the donations that have been coming in.
Yeah. So Tyrone Graves, another $5 donation. Corey Burham, who said, been meaning to give this for a while, a $20 donation.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you very much. And so Ebony Graves, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Daniel Mangus, Matthew Mangus, Raider Flash, Michelle Sweat is in there. Fargo Raiders in there. Kill Jadis. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. F. Thomas Jones is in there.
What's up, Thom?
Let's see. Yeah, man. Yeah.
T-Hom.
And he's giving me a run for my money. We're gonna talk a little inside baseball because he's emailing episode numbers.
Oh, like
he's
trying to take your role.
Yeah, he
take
did.
Your job over there, man.
I know, man. I know. Yeah,
better step it up.
Nah, I'm stepped up. I'm good. I'm good. I got this.
Tyrone Graves says, "I understand people want Carr gone. Just get somebody better on the team first." Yeah, look, here's we love Derek Carr, but you know what? If you can upgrade Derek Carr, look, okay. But it's what we're all saying is that's an awful hard thing to do. Considering what the environment of the NFL, it's not like there's someone we can draft upcoming this April in the draft that's a slam dunk at 22 that we're going to draft that's going to come in and be better than Derek Carr. So I'm with you, Tyrone Graves. But that's the task of any coach or GM is you always are looking to upgrade every position. It isn't just quarterback. It's all 53 spots on the roster. If you can upgrade it, then you'll do it. Another position where I would say that you would be challenged to upgrade, if I point to my little Hunter Renfro painting over here.
Who?
That was Hunter Renfro, the GOAT, as we call him. This was painted by our good friend Jesus Alvarez. This is a copy of it. The actual painting we auctioned off, and that money went to the One Nation Foundation. But let's talk a little bit about Hunter Renfro. So we heard a little bit kind of about in our discussion about how he ended up being the focal point of the offense. Once Henry Ruggs was gone and Darren Waller was down with an injury, Zay Jones was, quote, your number one, but really the number one on the offense was Hunter Renfro, and he excelled this year and had a fantastic season. And so we definitely want to celebrate him. But, we call him the GOAT. And we put that stuff out on Twitter, and there's a lot of pictures and a lot of silly things that are done talking about Hunter Renfro. But an also common thing, and including from us here, is that we talk about how he looks like your accountant, right? He looks like the guy that does your taxes and then catches third down passes. And so he made an appearance on the Players Club podcast. This is hosted by Darian Rencher. Darian is a Clemson running back. Currently a Clemson running back. So shout out the young man. Much respect there for starting your own podcast. And of course, he reached out to Clemson alum Hunter Renfro to make an appearance on the show. So Hunter is not only making an appearance on the show, but he's talking about his appearance.
So one of the things when people see you, that's always been they just look at you and they think this guy is they underestimate everything you do. They look at you and obviously, I'm gonna call a spade, bro. They see a small white guy. And they're there's no way this dude can beat me. There's no way. In college, I'm sure in high school it was like that. In college, I was at practice, so I definitely know it was like that. And people, they would see you win and be like, bro, there's no way he's gonna keep beating me. And then in the league, that's been the craziest part. People have seen you against the best of the best. And you've continued to do the same exact thing. So for you, how have you, because I know you're very self-aware, people look at you this way. How have you used that as motivation like being underrated? Like how have you kind of what's been your mentality as you go approach the game?
Yeah, definitely. I I've always prided myself on being different, whether it was, not doing all the footwork stuff or, looking different or, I think different is good to an extent. So I do take pride in that. I am very self-aware, like you said. I know, I see it all the time on Twitter, and I understand, people are laughing at me. Sometimes they're laughing with me. Sometimes they're laughing at me. I understand that. But I'm just having fun playing the game I love. And,
nice.
I really don't worry about it too much. I'm getting to play the NFL, and that's something I dreamed of.
Come on.
Being able to support my family. I'm being able to, hang out with my friends in the off season. Like, I have an unbelievable life. I have nothing to, worry about. And so I'm just very appreciative and very thankful. And so, when people laugh and make fun or whatnot, it doesn't matter to me because, a lot of those people are wishing they could be playing in the NFL. And so
exactly.
I use it to fuel me to an extent. But at the same time, I think I use the fuel of appreciation more than anything. And whenever they do, it just reminds me what I'm thankful for.
I love anybody that leads with gratitude. I'm a fan of automatically, but I also love that he's not so like hardcore about it that he feels like he needs to like rebel against it or whatever. He just kind of takes it in stride. And so in that vein, Aaron the Q Dog Raider in the chat says Hunter Renfro totally looks like every assistant restaurant manager who walks the floor asking at every table if everything is all right with their meals. And then moves the chains on third down. I love it, man. Great stuff there from Hunter Renfro, and we don't hear a lot from Hunter.
No,
so it's kind of cool, right, Jeff? To
Absolutely.
hear him and like his philosophy around football. And whatnot,
yeah,
right?
man. Yeah, no, he's a pretty quiet guy. You don't see him get in front of the mic very often. So that's really cool to get his side of that.
Absolutely. If it's not one of his Clemson buddies calling in, I don't think he's doing this podcast.
Totally.
And here's what I mentioned. There's some audio gold in this, and this is for football nerds. Like this is fantastic. So we talk a lot of high level football stuff and philosophically and those kind of things. I love it when we get into like the minutia of things and like drill down into like beyond even the X's and O's, and we start getting into like techniques and mechanics and whatnot. And so Hunter started talking about his route running, and Mosh, it's not even arguable. He is one of the best route runners in the NFL.
Oh, he's proved that. He proved that with that route that he and Gruden invented.
Oh,
thank
so
you.
Good.
Absolutely. And he talks specifically about that route.
I think people overcomplicate route running. Like, for me, it's all about breaking tendencies for a DB. Like, I know, and it helped me because I played DB in high school, and I played DB growing up, in the backyard. And like, if a receiver is running at me, for me personally, I try to get into the mind of the DB, and I try to basically lie to the DB as a receiver. And so if I'm thinking as a DB, all right, if I'm running this route as Hunter, like how am I going to set the DB up? And so like if I'm guarding Darian, like if Darren ran this, when would I jump it? All right, so if I jump it when he turns eyes inside, then as a receiver, as Darian, I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna give outside and then go out. So it's all about breaking tendencies and habits, and all these DBs are coached the same things with the hips and where to keep the eyes. And so they drive on the first moves, and so I don't give them two moves, and then when they start driving on the double move, do a triple move or just stay with the first move. And so it's all about just trying to get in the DB's mind and as a receiver, lie to him, I guess.
What's fascinating to me, Mosh, about that is that like you talked when you were like, because it's built on what they call the China route, right?
Right.
So, but like, I love it though that like that's not a premeditated thing. He's doing that. He's reacting to the DB, like he just said. I might stick with that first move, or I might go through and run two or three moves. But like he's basically playing the DB until the DB fails, and that's why he's open. Like that's badass.
And there's a lot of people in the chat that are calling him, Hunter Blitnikoff, and he runs like Freddie. But if you remember, right, if we ever get the audio, shout out to Cody, if we ever get the audio, when we interviewed LaMonica, he talked about why was Blitnikoff such a good target. And he said because he could make the DBs do what he wanted them to.
That's right. You're
and
right.
he said when he was running with him, he could nudge them just a little bit so that they're running on, and he was talking about physical contact. He's running, and he's got just a little bit of an angle where he's bumping them, and they're running, because Freddie wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but they're running side by side down the sidelines, and he's bumping them just a smidge to the outside, and then boom, he's cutting to the inside. Or he cuts to the inside, they juke, and then he cuts back and goes to the post. He's making the DBs do what he wants the DBs to do. And that's the similarity between Renfro and Biletnikoff.
That's fantastic, Mosh. Yeah. Excellent pull there. And go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, well, and I think it's cool in that clip he talks about, well, I've always played wide receiver, but I played DB in my backyard.
Right,
So like, and that route and the way he's describing it, it reminds you of schoolyard ball. Like you're just out there doing little dipsy doos and all that, whatever works. And it's not like a premeditated thing. Like just get open. And so, that's so cool. That's old school football, man.
It is, and I love you talk about cerebral, man. Like he says in there, all the DBs are coached the same way. They're all the same way. So it doesn't matter who I'm lining up against. I know their eyes are looking for this certain thing, and if I can get your eyes to redirect, I got you.
Right.
Like, look, during the season, I made a statement. I said that I don't think we've seen a player jump talent-wise year to year as much as we've seen Hunter Renfro jump from 20 into 21. Guys, look, I don't want to get all crazy, and I know that, yes, there are, like Mosh very well put, so many similarities to a guy like Fred Biletnikoff and all the great route runners that are in the league now, Davante Adams and whatnot. But we could be on the precipice of this dude being an all-world player, like a Hall of Fame level player, and I don't think that's crazy talk.
Okay, so let me run this by you.
Okay.
Why wouldn't Hunter Renfro studied the greats? Why wouldn't he have studied Freddie? Why, he did. He did. That stuff just doesn't come natural. There's natural talent to be able to make the 2 and the 3 moves, okay? But you study how did they get that ability? I guarantee you, he's watched or listened to more interviews than what we have.
Oh, absolutely.
So that comes with, okay, again, what we talked about earlier. Okay, I can do this. If I practice it, I can do it. And then exactly what Jeff said, he played the other side in the backyard, in high school, in college, so that he knows what to do to be better when he gets the opportunity. So the man, you said it earlier, he's very cerebral, and I mean the guy's smart, and I think that's one of the things that we have going for us on our team.
Absolutely,
so we've got some smart players, man.
Absolutely, and if we had another one, if we had Davante Adams, I'm telling we could and I know it's probably a long shot because if the Packers are any kind of smart, they're going to franchise tag him. But if you think about that, there's this is not hyperbole. We could have the 2 best route runners in the league. The end. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about if at that point, you want to criticize Derek Carr after we have Davante Adams and Hunter Renfro on the same offense, and if for whatever reason, red zone and all the other things that you can criticize a quarterback about, if he falls short, then at that point, all right, then I'll acquiesce and I'll be okay. But because think about that guy. We really do, Mosh. We have such a, if he's not franchise tagged, it would not surprise me at all if the Raiders broke the bank to bring in Davante Adams. The story writes itself. It's Derek Carr's best friend. He's a perfect pairing with this offense.
Yeah, and you got to okay.
Yeah.
I was going to bring something else up, but I don't want to. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's go to see a fans. Enough of us, more of you is a good thing.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied. He throws. It is. He caught it.
All right, welcome to the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is where we hear from you, Raider Nation, and you can contact us a multitude of ways. You could join us in the chat at youtube.com/RaidersFanRadio, much like our new good friend, Shailene. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. It says, longtime Raider fan, enjoying the episodes, and we enjoy having you here on a live show. Appreciate you. We love to see and hear from new listeners. And if you want to contact us outside of the chat room, you can email us at show, that is SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. You can send those emails anytime you want, and if we read your email an indefinite amount of times on the air, we will refer to you as a made man or a made woman here at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you call the show and we play your message 3 times at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Well, who went high? Who went?
Yeah, that was me.
You went up.
I was trying to.
You went up a register there.
Jeff took the falsetto on that one.
Yeah, I was trying to harmonize.
We'll workshop that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so we always start off with your emails, and we thank you so very much.
Very much.
Very much. Whatever. What the
Read
heck?
the damn email.
Who do we got,
Let me
Maj?
ask you a quick question, though.
Yes, sir. Please do.
Just to derail us for just a hot second.
Sure.
Any news out of the combine today?
Well, those interviews that I played from Josh McDaniels,
All right.
both those comments were from the combine, and yeah, so the workouts start tomorrow.
Okay.
So the combine, the NFL draft combine NFL combine is a week-long event, and it's a lot of interviews and a lot of that kind of stuff. And then all the coaches are in now, and then the workouts will start tomorrow. So very good.
So good. Next week we'll have a combine rundown.
Yes, and we've got I've got a handful of players that I want to look at. Some group of 5 guys, some guys from lesser known schools. Our buddy Jeff Murphy from
Is he going to be here next week?
Hopefully, we'll be here next week. He's going to talk about those guys, and then some of the players from the Big 5 schools or the Big 5 conferences as well.
Power 5.
Whatever, Big 5, Power 5, whatever. You know what I meant.
The Big 5.
Yeah, you got well, because Jeff doesn't like it when I say
the Big 5. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like it when I say like the lower 5 or the group of 5. Like he doesn't like when I distinguish between like the Power 5 and then the little guys. So I just meant like whatever. I'm trying to talk my way out of it, and it's not working.
I always call them the Awesome 5, and I get more meat on my sandwich than you do.
Oh,
so,
wonder.
Yeah,
that's why I got like a half a slice of mortadella and a piece of provolone that I could barely see.
And he charged you $12.95.
That's okay.
Hello,
all money goes to
RFR
One Nation Foundation.
Hello, RFR family. The time has come. The scouting combine is upon us. The scouting combine is upon us, and it's time to dive into the number of prospects that would become Raiders in April. Unfortunately, due to school, I have only had a small chance to dive into the draft prospects, but normally, like I would usually do, there's just a few positions I feel the need to be addressed in the draft. Number 1, wide receivers. The tragic situation with Ruggs shook us all to the core, and it had a negative effect on our offense as a whole. I look for Ziegler and his staff to be paying close attention to the wide receivers running routes and their 40 times. Number 2, defensive backs. Our best defensive back last year was Casey Hayward, and he's a free agent who will move more than likely. He will probably leave us and go to Indy. I still have hope for Trayvon Mullen, who broke his foot last year and was out for the year minus the 4 games he played. Sports medicine has advanced, and I have full confidence that he will make an immediate and full recovery. Offensive linemen. This could be addressed in free agency, but we'll still need linemen for the future. Look for Ziegler to target linemen in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, respectively. That's all from this twin. Stay safe, Raider Nation. Yours truly, Matthew Mangus, proud made man, Gemini Man Award winner, 2-time Sizzler winner, protector of the Godfather's chair. P.S. F the MLB for ruining my plans for baseball.
Amen. Is that Matthew?
And I hope the MLB made it to Q-Dog's hit list.
Man, I hope so too. You know what? And I know Matthew is a diehard A's fan, as we are. We're big supporters of Bay Area baseball, both the A's and the Giants. Don't email me. It's
the truth.
It's the truth. We like them both. But if I had to pick, I'd pick the A's. But anyways, I'm I'm not going to get on a big tangent, but I'll just say this to honor his comment. As a parent of 2 guys of 2 young boys that came up watching and participating and playing baseball, like MLB has not done anything to serve this generation coming up. They are failing miserably. And if you don't win over kids, they don't look, old guys like us that grew up watching baseball and are diehard. Like, we're only going to be around for so long. You got to have generations to come up, and you have failed those generations that are coming up miserably multiple times.
I can only tell so many stories about seeing Hank Aaron, seeing Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter. I can only tell so many of those stories, and it breaks my heart that people that are probably in the chat room don't know who those names are. And it's no fault of theirs, it's a fault of the league.
Amen. Well
Dear
put,
Raiders Fan Radio, Murph, Uncle Mosh, Little Murph, Swag Jeff, Capo de Capi, Q-Dog, and all those out there, much respect. It's been a long time. I haven't sent anything since the end of 2018 when the Raiders hat for the I win the Raiders hat for the contest with the best Christmas story. He won the Raiders hat. That's
yes. I remember that.
This year, I told the famous story of the cat stealing Mary with the cherry in the amazing Italian Catholic family I grew up in.
Yes.
Silence hasn't broken nearly as many hearts as this last season. I'm sure we have all blown up enough about that. Wasted potential, letting it go, and let's just move on. People are still down about Derek Carr and trying to get rid of him. So first, let's reiterate what Mosh and Murph pointed out last week. The top 12 QB, number 10 this last season, and then my little addition to it.
Okay.
Number 10 with the most passing yards under pressure this season with 1,260. Imagine what he could have been doing if he was able to stay standing up and having offensive weapons that don't end up in jail. Imagine Carr's ability with a solid running game because we have an O-line. Imagine all the people living for today. We had no O-line. We ranked number 28th in the league. Freaking 28th, though that is no excuse. Bungholes were ranked 20th. They were in the Super Bowl. I'm saying this to get to a point. Greg Olson, 2015. Bill Musgrave, 15 and 16. Todd Downing, 2017. Greg Olson, 2018 through 21. Derek had no consistency at coaching until 2018. From 2014 through 2017, he averaged 3,672 and a half yards with an average QB rating of 87.7. From 2018 through last year, he averaged 4,252 and a half yards with an average QB rating of 97.5. He has become consistent with a not-so-fantastic cast of players around him. For anyone who's still upset about the trade or he who shall not be named to the Cowboys, this all happened after we traded him. Good call. The dude has no passion for the game. I digress. Then again, we can't look back to yesterday. It's good to remember the past, pay respect to it. We should be paying respect to Carr. He gave us our first winning season and playoff season since 2016. Pardon me. The only QB to take us to the playoffs since 2002 with substandard parts much of the time. The problem isn't the quarterback. Next season may not be what we want it to be. It may not be what we expect it to be. New GM, new coaches, new system. Regardless, if a few guys are familiar with it, they aren't familiar with doing it together. With a shortened preseason, I think this is going to be a bumpy ride. This is a team game. We need a well-rounded, well-coached team. We need a tough Raiders team. Devontae Adams, man, I hope he's in it, but it isn't just a pipe dream. He seems like he could be legit. The last time we got a receiver from Green Bay, it was Jordy Nelson in 2018. He was supposed to be our number one receiver, and he only put up 739 yards. Jared Cook put up more yards that year as a tight end with 896. We will be building now and not rebuilding, reconfiguring. I don't know how what to do with the salary cap. I effed up the salary cap on Madden all the time. By the way, I finally graduated from Madden 15 to Madden 22 to pay respect to Coach.
Oh, nice.
Rest in peace, Coach. Not enough respect was paid to you, in my opinion, for your many contributions to the NFL and broadcasting in general. I keep digressing. I say what you guys say. Resign, Carr. No, I'm kidding. Resign, Carr. Get him an O-line, targets, and a way to stop opposing teams. Don't let him go without a QB plan. Otherwise, all you are doing is sticking a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. He has been around for 8 years. Get him some pliability training, and he could last as long as Brady. Well, maybe. I mean, it's about 3 years later than when Brady started dating Alex Guerrero. I keep hearing rumors of Brady coming out of retirement to play for us. Do not do it. Do not stop. Brady would be here maybe for a year. We aren't all ready to win now. We are ready to win now. There is no point. Again, it's just hype. Without protection, he wouldn't come out of retirement just to end up on his back. I mean, look at what Phillip Rivers did without protection and being on his back, like 23 kids. Another issue is that, okay, that was really funny.
That was good.
This would mean Carr is gone. Be mindful of your money. A Super Bowl tomorrow isn't worth losing the chance of 5 Super Bowls over the next 10 years, unless we lose 5 in a row. My expectations. Well, McDaniel is no Belichick. Hiring their coaches doesn't mean success. It doesn't mean we will have success right away. It doesn't mean we won't. I just don't expect it. I hope we do. Hell, I pray to Big Papa like Daddy and the spook we do. Ultimately, though, it's a year of readjusting, not rebuilding, readjusting. The players need to have discipline and football IQ. To our GM, Dave Zig Ziglar, screw the meatheads saying embrace the New England way. No, take what succeeds about the New England way and then the successes of teams like New Orleans, the Rams, and make it the Raider way. Make that the culture. Show us you have a damn commitment to excellence. If McDaniel is an F-up hire, fire him. Do not be the AFC West Patriots. Embrace the journey to the dark side. And for the love of Grogu, do not just hire hot names in coaches to make waves. Do not just hire your friends. Hire the best candidate, period. Admittedly, our defensive coordinator is a good hire. Just worried about there being too many chieftains and not enough tribesmen. Don't be afraid to lose. We have to know the loss with this staff to find a way to win together. Remember 4-12, 7-9, 8-8, and then 10-7 with a broken staff? We did 10-7 with a miserable series of scandals and distractions. One thing we were promised wouldn't happen after Jack Del Rio. Promises mean nothing. Just get the job done. Commit to excellence. I assure you guys, I will be more vocal in the coming days. You guys still make my work time fly by. Thanks for having me alone on this lighter journey to the dark side. Forever silver and black, Raider Jack from Everett, Washington, formerly from Albany, Oregon. Made man in 2018. Gonna have to buy the shirt to prove it. Been around since 2017.
Hey, Raider Jack.
Brought it.
Nicely done, Raider Jack. So I got just a few things here. First off, Raider Jack, great email. And I love this idea of, we hear the term Patriot Way get thrown around a lot because we've got a bunch of Patriots in the house now. I love the idea of no, let's change that terminology to the new Raider Way. Let's go with that instead of calling it the Patriot Way. But sentiment is well taken there, Jack. Also, the chat room. Somebody brought up the idea when we started talking about Packers players that have come to the Raiders.
Yeah.
James Jones was legit. James Jones, I get Jordy, I get Jared Cook, although Jared was pretty good too. But James Jones was great and still wears his Raider pride.
Oh, big time.
Right? Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Jeffrey Arguello says, who's going to the game on August 4th? That's the Hall of Fame game up in Canton. that would be a great game to go to, and a great ceremony to attend. And so, yeah, that was August 4th. I want to make sure I mention that date. And then last thing is that Flash says the A's might be moving to Vegas. Hey, baby, look, if they go, they go. If they go, they go, man. I'll go root for the green and gold in Vegas. Like it's easy for me to say because I'm out of market now, just like you guys are. But hey, we go to Vegas on the regular now to watch the Raiders.
Yep.
I'd love to go to Vegas on the regular to watch the A's too.
Good evening, everybody. Hope all is well. It's quiet out here in the NFL, isn't it? We're in the pre-draft fog of the offseason where stories are hard to come by. Preseason has just become a week shorter, though, which is always a good thing as we've been selected to play in the Hall of Fame game in Canton on August 4th. I just heard about that. Against Jacksonville, which I believe which means we start our training camp a week earlier as a result, and we have an extra preseason game to boot. I didn't know that. Did you know that? That we get to start a week earlier?
I did not know that.
If that's true, that's right. That's awesome. That's
yeah, because it's August 4th. Yeah. No, I did know that. Yeah.
I was searching through some blog sites this week and came across a couple of questions that I'd like your thoughts on, both taken from articles by Mario Tavor or at Just Blog Baby. Did I say his last name right?
No,
Tovar?
Mario Tovar, yeah.
Tovar, yeah.
He's been on our show, 10 times probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good friend of ours, started the Raider Ramble. Shout him out.
That's right.
Started the Raider Ramble, and now he's working for Fansided and is a contributor at Just Blog Baby, which is what we are a part of.
Question 1. Should we trade down at the draft? Personally, I think this would be a good idea. We have a number of needs to be addressed, and it would certainly give us more options. There does seem to be quite a depth to some of the positions apart from quarterback, and we could acquire some good talent later on. We all like to see a potential superstar number 1 pick, but I've always preferred the latter round guys as they seem to be the ones that make more of a difference in the long term. Okay, we're going to stop here. What do you think, Murph? Should we trade down at the draft?
I don't think so, and I'll give you a quick answer. So we need a lot of help, like on the offensive line. We need playmakers at wide receiver. We need corners. When it comes to the skill positions and some of the more explosive needs that we need, like again, a wide receiver, those players only come in the first round. You don't find late round or undrafted talent to do that where you can in terms of offensive line. So I've got a little bit of info for you here. Here's an interesting nugget on Super Bowl champions offensive lines the last 5 years. Those of you on the YouTube, I can show you here what it looks like. All right, so you can see the numbers there, but for the audio listeners, I'm going to read it off. First round, so this is 25 players, so 5 offensive lines. Only 3 of them were first round picks. Day 2 picks, there was 4 of them. Day 3 picks, there was 7. Undrafted free agents, there was 1. Veteran free agents or players acquired by trade, 10. So what the point of this is that when it comes to offensive line, you can draft, develop, and then install. Those are the players that have the impact. It's not like day 1 starters, where a guy like Jamar Chase, as an example, when Jamar Chase is in the draft, you freaking grab him. Because, and everyone criticized the Bengals at the draft. Oh, they needed offensive line help, and they went and took a wide receiver. Yeah, but who did they take? A dynamic playmaker, was best friends with their quarterback, and what happened? They ended up in the goddamn Super Bowl. So that's the whole point to that, is that you can draft those other positions later on, develop them. If you got a guy like a playmaker at the top of it, like somebody like Jahan Dotson or somebody like Chris Olave from Ohio State, you snag them at 22 and you move on. So all that said, no, you don't draft down. Stick at 22 and get a playmaker.
Okay. He goes on to comment on that. Paul says, I'm sure there's a stat out there somewhere that will disprove my theory, though. Okay.
Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, Paul. No, but that's okay. All right, Swaggy, I'm going to come to you after this one. Question number 2, should we move on from Marcus Mariota?
Oh!
Obviously, the major talk is about the DC contract, but this is another intriguing part of the puzzle this offseason. For the record, I like Marcus, and if it wasn't for his injuries, it would be a question at all. It wouldn't be a question at all because he's a starter, either at the Raiders or someone else. And I still think he can play a part in our immediate future. Then I read in Mario's article that Pro Football Focus believe he could sign a 1-year deal for $8 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money to me and calls the whole thing into serious question. Sorry, Swaggo. I'm not sure those figures stack up in our favor, and if that's the kind of deal that he's looking for, then I think MM8's days with us could be numbered. With no quarterbacks in this year's draft, another veteran quarterback could be coming in as backup. Swaggy, to you, should we move on from Marcus Mariota?
Well, I mean, no.
Obviously, your heart's going to say no.
My heart's going to say no. You know, do I think this man deserves a starting job somewhere? Absolutely. It's not with us. But, I think he deserves it. I would love for him to stay here more than just my fan. I mean, just the different element that he brings to this offense. I mean, I've been comparing him to Taysom Hill out in New Orleans. You want a guy that can just come in and just bring you something different, and you don't know what he's going to do. And I think that's what he can bring to the team. I don't think I wouldn't get too hung up on the guaranteed $8 million money because he took a massive ass pay cut.
Yep.
To stay in Las Vegas when he could have said, no, screw you, Raiders. I want my $17 million guaranteed that you promised me a year and a half ago. And he took like an $11 million pay cut to stay in Vegas. So I don't think $8 million is going to be a thing. If they say, hey man, we'd love to have you here for another, 1 year, $3 million deal, that's very doable. And I think that, with what he could bring to the table, I think it's very doable.
Can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. So
Okay.
he's an unrestricted free agent as of right now, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so if the Cleveland Browns come to Marcus and say, okay, yeah, we know you've got a 1 year, $3 million on the table with the Raiders. We're going to give you a 1 year, $3 million offer as well. Baker's way more questionable than Derek Carr. So in that point, it may not be up to the Raiders to make a choice whether he comes back or not. He's going to make a call because he wants to be a starter. And as you mentioned, he probably should be somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just not with us.
But I think he wants to be a Raider. He wants to be a Raider because we've always said Vegas is the ninth island, and that's where he's from. So, this is the closest he's ever going to get for playing for his home state.
And and the other cool thing about it is that they had a scheme that worked him in. And from a fan's perspective, how much fun was that to watch Mariota come in?
Oh, it was so fun. We didn't get it enough.
Knowing that he's going to use his legs. He's going to use his legs, and he's got that arm that's still a threat. So that scheme was developed where he had certain down times when he would come in and play, So who knows if that's going to work into the new scheme or not? And a lot of it's going to that scheming is going to have to go with their who they have on the roster. So I think the deal has to be made with Marcus before they start the scheming for the new year. Because if Marcus isn't going to get the playing time this coming season that he got under the last offensive scheme, then if Marcus was smart, he'd be looking for a payday.
But here's the thing. I don't think he got enough. I don't think he got enough playing time. Especially in the red zone. Those packages were great, but I think they were way underutilized.
This guy should have had 10 red zone touchdowns.
Absolutely, 100% agree. And so if Washington comes calling, guess what? I like him too, and I love all the fun we've had with you with the Aloha corner and all that kind of stuff.
But I'll tell you,
I think he's gone. He's gone.
Well, and I'll tell you this: if it comes down to where they need a little extra cash to go sign Devontae Adams.
Bingo.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
exactly. Deuces, Marcus. Yes.
I'll always love you, but, and once a Raider, always a Raider, but we want 17, bro.
What? You know what's funny? Go back and listen to episode 24 of Schmelter, where the episode before the Super Bowl. He talks about I can't remember which game it was. It might have been the AFC Championship game, and we had 3 touchdowns that game that were from the 1, the 1, and the 4, and they were all running touchdowns. And I'm listening to this and I'm going, that's what we're missing. We're missing those red zone touchdowns.
Yes, absolutely.
So anyway.
Amen.
Let me get back to this.
Okay.
Elsewhere.
Oh, yeah, Paul.
John Gruden sold his Vegas property for $7.5 million, a profit of $3.2 in a year. I'm happy for him. He probably needed the money. I just hope he don't need the money. I just hope he didn't send any emails to close the deal. Ian Rappaport reported that Amari Cooper's contract was up in the air. Well, he sure as hell won't catch it. There's more chance of Vladimir Putin winning a Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
So it's back to looking for some. Paul's bringing it. Paul's over there in the middle of the shit, though.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So it's back to looking for something to pass the time now. On Sunday, I checked out some film channels. Hey, watch cooking shows. While waiting for more content shows to come on the air, I noticed they were showing The Muppets Most Wanted. Sounds like sounds too much like a Queef's Draft Day video for me. What? What else? What else is there? I thought. Oh, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Excellent film.
Great movie.
Love Jack Nicholson, but there's a guy in it called Chief.
Yes.
So I'm not watching that one either. Children of the Corn.
He's not going to watch Slapshot either.
Wait. Lots of kids. Hell no. It reminds me of Philip Rivers. So that left Super Size Me. Shit, don't watch that either. But I bet that's the one film that Andy Reid cries for. Big fatty fat.
Oh my God.
Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Egerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Polly Award winner 2019, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five time, plus one, winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Paul!
Oh my gosh, Paul, you rule, dude.
Paul!
Oh, Children of the Corn reminds me of Philip Rivers.
Paul!
Your name, Paul?
Hello?
Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Paul.
I love
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul!
Hi. I'm Paul.
Super Size Me. Didn't watch that either, but I'll bet it's the one film that makes Andy Reid cry. You got Fat of the Week.
Fat of the week.
Look like melted ice cream.
Oh, I can actually hear you getting fatter.
Says he's fat?
Who's fat? Too fat. Big fat fatty.
Oh my gosh.
Paul in the chat wrote, Putin's a chief. Damn.
Oh my
Paul, I love you, man.
You're the best,
I can't
Paul.
wait for you to come visit us.
Oh my gosh,
dude,
that was
yes.
epic, man. Speaking of the chat room, Swaggo, chat them out before we get to the calls.
Yeah, Fargo Raider, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Paul's in there. Raider Flash, who's already calling for his vote for the Sizzler. Fargo's in there. Raider Gears and Threads, Chronicles of the Black Hole. F. Thomas Jones, Tom is in there. Chevy Silver Raider, Corey Burham, Ebony Graves, killed Jadis, Fargo Raider, Silver and Blacksmith, Tyrone Graves, Raider Flash, Chevy Silver Raider. We got the whole crew, man.
Oh my gosh. And Tyrone Graves just jumped in there with a $5 donation, says, I hope 30 seconds of Paul doesn't ruin his rep. Oh man, that was great, man. Good one, Paul. That was amazing. There might be 5-time plus one on the horizon if I don't put my thumb on the scale, but that was a fantastic email.
Gosh.
All right, so let's get to the voicemail. So you can send us a voicemail, just like the email line there. You can call us anytime at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346.
I went low that time.
You baritone out on us,
dude.
baby.
Nice.
That was a way to drop the bass there, buddy. That was good.
All about the bass.
No trouble. So you can, definitely call us anytime, and we appreciate you. All you Megan trainers out there,
I love me some Megan Trainor.
She's
the freaking best.
If you don't love Megan Trainor,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. Rex in effect. All right, so
Aaron the Q-Dog Raider
Yeah.
wrote, in my mind, Paul is 6'10", 180 pounds.
In his mind, he looks like Wyoming Raider. Yeah, who rips logs in half for a living. Yeah, all right, so let's get to these calls. So I mentioned you can call anytime, and if you email us an indefinite amount of times, you could become a made man or a made woman. Or if you call the show and leave a message and we play it 3 times, you can become a made man or a made woman. And every crew needs a captain, so the leader of the made men and the made women is our good friend. He is Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. We call him the Capo, and he always kicks off this segment. And hey, Capo turned in a doozy this week. So we got 10 minutes of Capo. This is going to be fantastic.
Yes. That's like its own segment.
It's like its own segment tonight. So crank up your speakers, your headphones, whatever you're listening to the show on, and enjoy the dulcet tones of the one and only Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Greetings, I'm Murph from the Boss Sonny, Consigliere, Uncle Moss, Swag Jeff, Sergeant at Arms, the Big Raider Trucker. And I like the new sled, by the way, homie. You've been encouraged with the best of them. Ron the Mater Raider, young chili dog from When the Universe Speaks. All prayers up for Queen. And we all know what we're talking about. I mean, hopefully Miss Libby will be back to her normal self in no time flat. So Splatterhead, what's good, baby, and the Inebriation. You know, people are starved for information on all things that involve our beloved Raiders, and I'm here for some soul food. I'm going to pass out each and everybody some helping hands. And, you know, I think I might have found some stuff that might actually be, you know, worth the time and effort. So let's get into it. Hondo S. Carpenter Sr., a Fan Nation Raider maven, posted his discussions with executives around the NFL. Yes, he's up in Indianapolis for the Combine, and I think, you know, there might be some little interesting tidbits. So here we go. Eating a meal yesterday, he went on to say, and a lot of this is from his perspective anyway, that one NFL executive told Carpenter, you knew what Mayock and Gruden were thinking. I mean, they're good guys, you know, good people like that, but Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler are just good guys, but they're off the Belichick tree, and they hold their cards close to the vest. A good sign. Now, that helps the Raiders, in my opinion. I mean, let me explain. Last year, Carpenter heard that the Raiders loved Alex Leatherwood. And on the morning tailgate show on the Raider Nation network, they had Butch Jones from Alabama on a few weeks before the NFL draft to discuss Leatherwood and said on the air that the Raiders, in fact, had interest in Leatherwood. Now, if that's not telegraphing who you want, I don't know what is. I mean, what that meant was other teams didn't feel like they needed to trade up or down with the Raiders because they knew what the Raiders wanted. Now, the Raiders are the team that is close. I mean, you've seen it on the field, and now you're seeing it off the field. We're a 10-win team. I mean, the Raiders are already a 5 seed in the AFC. Like Mark Davis said, this is not a rebuild because the Raiders we're close. We're almost there. We're within reaching distance. They could answer many questions simply by drafting or, like I said before, gaining through free agency. And once again, for those that haven't followed up to this point, we need to go heavy on defense through the draft and solve our remaining offensive pieces through free agency. Now, one NFL executive described it this way. When you're close, you have to be so careful. I mean, it's my philosophy that any NFL draft, there are 3 to 7 players that are immediate impact guys. Most of them, well, let's just say it like this. Now, this is him talking, 3. If that is true, and my experience has proven it, that means that there's only 3 guys that are going to make a difference. He added, close teams can't wait. The closer you are, you have to ask yourself, is this player good enough to wait on? Or do I get a veteran ready that's ready to play right now? I know what I'm going to get. So think about that for a second. He went on to add that, you know, the Raiders are in the driver's seat, basically. When you're in the driver's seat, you have a lot to lose, but you know what? You got to stay focused and keep basically your course between the lines. Another NFL executive added, everybody wants to get high picks. The best franchises, consistently, they draft in the 20s and early 30s. I mean, you look at Belichick, you look at Tomlin, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, how you like that, boss, are always picking towards the lower end of the draft. And every year, nearly, you can pencil them in to the playoffs. That's where we want to be. That's where we're about to be. McDaniels and Ziegler, they have that mentality. Yet another executive made the point crystal clear by saying that Carpenter, you're a Michigan guy. You cover the Lions. Let's look at them specifically. They go in 2007 and they draft Megatron, Calvin Johnson. The general thought was that, he was one of 3 guys that was going to make an impact that particular draft year, the others being Patrick Willis and Joe Thomas. As others, were drafted later on in 2009, Matthew Stafford, who he believes is a Hall of Famer, before he continued. Now, he thought that, the following year when they took Ndamukong Suh, they were all high draft picks, but they weren't sustainable because you're not going to be able to re-up and pay these guys over the long haul. So we don't have to worry ourselves as Raiders about getting the very tip-top of the draft. Just get solid guys that you can develop. He went on to add that McDaniels and Ziegler, they come from the Patriot system. They aren't used to picking those guys up at the top. They get guys, that they can develop to become something over time. If you're close, and I keep on saying the Raiders are close, they get an immediate impact guy. Hey, that's great. But that isn't how they sustain themselves. The Patriots would rather pay a journeyman that they know what they're going to get, and moving ahead, they just simply don't invest in rookies. If you don't believe me, go back, look at the video, you see the results. An interesting note on Dave Ziegler. I'm not sure that any front office guys that the Patriots have lost has hurt them as much as the loss of Dave. Bill Belichick liked him and respected him. I know Josh. I don't know Dave. And the thing is that Josh, he's a great coach. Okay, for a position coach. But from what I'm hearing, the loss of Josh may hurt, but the loss of Dave was brutal to the Patriot organization. You should keep an eye on that guy. I know I will. Carpenter asked several people what they thought they would see from the new regime consisting of McDaniels and Ziegler. The answers were telling and sincere. One person said, I love Mike and John, but holy Jesus Christ. If one of them fell in love with a guy, everybody knew it. I expect the new team to keep their cards close and to use picks as trade bait or as long-term answers strategically. Another added, this isn't really about Dave, but in Josh's case, I think he was humbled in Denver. Numerous people from Bill Belichick's tree think that they are Bill or they're going to get monster egos. Bill has every right to be an egomaniac, but he just isn't. If you email him, he emails you back within 24 hours. And according to some sources, he might even text you back, even if you're not even the right guy. But I digress. He isn't dumb. He knows how he has impacted the game, but he never thought, it would be this much or, have the significance that it's had thus far. Of the guys, I think, in the game, it's easy because they've been with him. You can't be around somebody like Belichick and just not have some of that ooze just drip all over you, and you can't pick up and resonate that stuff. Now, I told you before we needed a guy, and we couldn't get a sniff from him. He's ready. A third added, I don't think anyone can do GM and coach successfully. Josh needed Dave, and I have zero doubts that they will get the job done. So, while the mood amongst the NFL brain trust in Indy is that no one knows what the Raiders will do, there is no doubt that the Raiders have the opportunities, or basically they have their opponents asking questions, and the opportunities are numerous at this point. No other teams are trying to figure out, what we've telegraphed so far. And that's actually a plus. We're actually learning from prior mistakes. Moving forward, after news broke that Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones paid $2.4 million settlement to various former cheerleaders that were part of the Cowboys organization, isn't this just par for the course?
Yep.
Jones, who recently defended the settlement and said of an internal investigation that found no wrongdoing of former executive Rich Dalrymple, on many occasions in podcasts, one of which was Texas Monthly's podcast, America's Girls, hosted by Sarah Heppola, paints a picture of the behavior tolerated in Dallas under Jones. Heppel's conversations, with former cheerleaders depict how Jones specifically created an environment where women were exploited and put into uncomfortable situations, with their bodies shown off to others via Texas Monthly. Now, the allegations come in to light of ESPN's reporting that the Cowboys paid that Dalrymple committed voyeurism as they undressed in the locker room at AT&T Stadium back in 2015, when the allegations of Renfro entering the women's bathroom to record video and to take photographs of the cheerleaders was brought forward to the Cowboys. He remained employed by the Cowboys for another 6 years, bro.
Jeez.
Instead, the executive's denial and an internal investigation determined there was no wrongdoing. Amazing. Dalrymple also faced an allegation of recording an upskirt video of Charlotte Jones Anderson, Jerry Jones' own daughter, bruh. I mean, come on, man. Which a fan reported seeing during a live stream during the Cowboys draft. This is amazing. The podcast series details what, working for the Cowboys was like for cheerleaders. And former cheerleader Cindy Villarreal shared, I guess, her experience, having, been invited on Jerry Jones' private, jet in order to parade around in her skimpy outfit. And then she was just basically, eye candy for these old, broken down, wrinkled, shriveled up cowboy businessmen. It's just amazing. But once again, the matter is under review, and in light of recent things such as the Washington Commanders and the Miami Dolphins owners, not, to mention the email gate against the former head coach of the Raiders, even when he wasn't even an employee of the NFL, and had that leaked, I think the NFL has a lot in their own backyard to clean up. Silver linings.
Come on.
Lastly, one executive made the point this week at a breakfast that, was told to Carpenter, who I alluded to earlier in the call, that he found fascinating. Getting the extra exhibition game, the Hall of Fame game, was a real coup for the Raiders. You get an extra game and you get an extra practice time. Hey, that's priceless. I like to see, saying more of that stuff. We're making savvy moves. The hit list: Jackson Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Jerry Jones, Daniel Snyder, Jeremiah Patasi, Roger Goodell, Jim Rome, Mike Wilbon, Jason Whitlock, Aaron Rodgers, and insurrectionists. Whew. Roo.
Right on.
There we go. Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Nice.
Aaron's got to be tired. Aaron, I hope you're drinking after that one. Holy my brother.
Listen, I love how because, we talked a little bit about when the Washington football team investigation went down. And look, this is not in defense of anything that John Gruden did, but what it is a promotion of the, like the serious inequity of this investigation where we were targeted.
Right.
There is so much dirt that the NFL has on multiple teams, and yet we're the only ones that got freaking, our season disrupted, and our coach got fired. Again, not that he shouldn't have been, but there's plenty of blame to throw around for multiple organizations, and somehow everyone else remains unscathed. We were the only ones that got dinged in that.
Kill Jada said it best last week when he said, I'm a Raider. I'm used to getting screwed.
That's true. Amen, Mosh. Amen. All right, so speaking of Kill Jadis, let's go ahead and jump into his call. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to help you out here, Kill Jadis. I'm going to set you up a little bit. So if you're not a regular listener to this show, if you're new to the show, Kill Jadis does an amazing impression of Randy Macho Man Savage, and his version is Macho Raider Savage. And so he does this great impression going back and forth between himself and Macho Man Raider Savage. He also, Macho Man, has now taken on this really like this story arc where he has embraced his Raider addiction along with his Slim Jim addiction, along with multiple other things. And we've seen this arc of Macho now go from just a character that Kill Jadis would play to the Raiders Fan Radio wrestling champion. So, and he's taken on all comers. All right, so all that being known, let's check in with our good buddy this week. He calls himself the northernmost Raider fan. He's up there in Alaska, and apparently he's just hanging out the house doing Macho Man impressions.
Well, yeah.
Here's our good buddy, Kill Jadis.
Raiders versus Jaguars at the Hall of Fame game. Warner, Richard Seymour, and Branch receivers that no defender for the team. The Columbine is coming up soon, and hopes that college athletes do enough to make NFL scouts swoon. And with that, we sit and wait for free agency to begin. A true test to see if our new coach and GM can bring in players that want to win. Macho Man, we're kind of at a lone point here waiting for the season to start. Well, let's wait to see how great our team will be. It's all the more reason for us to be patient. I just hope we can get ourselves a wide receiver that'll act as a number one. Well, We need to make sure that we don't spend too much. The other players need to get paid. And the foundation of our team needs to get laid. Receivers do what they can to get paid the big bucks, but they need to be humble. Do you think Derek Carr will take a pay cut?
Yes. Carr is a guy that wants to win, no matter what. I think he'll be flexible. Hopefully other people will be flexible too. In a perfect world, though, all of our Raider players will be more interested in winning than getting paid. But we'll see.
Speaking of which, I need some money.
You're the Raiders fan
I need some money.
world heavyweight champion. How can you be asking me for money?
I need a new chair to buy myself because, after all, I left mine behind to carry you out of that situation at the Chiefs Addiction Anonymous meeting.
Well, sorry, I came to your rescue.
Only to get distracted by screaming and crying Jason and then get yourself knocked out by that Trevor Case guy.
Wasn't I saying Casey?
No, it's Case. People say his name wrong, but he just goes with it anyways.
Well, fine. My wallet is in my bedroom. You can get the money you need. Who is ringing our doorbell anyway?
Hi-ho. Oh, God. Go get us. What happened? You're Patrick.
Yeah, not bad for an amphibian. Looking for this?
My chair. Guess I'll have to pry it off your unconscious body.
Not so fast, Macho Man. I'm here to give you a challenge.
And what's that?
Sounds like Patrick
I have
Mahomes.
here in this briefcase evidence I can put you in jail for assault, video recordings, witness testimony, you name it. You really live up to your Raider fan name, a criminal.
And what is it that you want in exchange?
I want a heavyweight title match. It'll be a ladder match. Winner takes the evidence in the title. And if you lose, you go to jail. We'll do it at WrestleMania. What are you saying, champ?
You want a shot at my title at WrestleMania? You got it.
All right, so there we go.
There you go.
Shut up.
So the RFR WrestleMania title is going to come down between Dr. Patrick Kermit Mahomes and Macho Raider Savage. So good job there, Kill Jadis, man. We appreciate you, man. Keep those coming. We're like, I feel like I want to piece together all of Kill Jadis's calls into one big long show and like put it on the YouTube or something. Like the story arc is fantastic. All right. Last call to get to before we award a Sizzler. That is where Uncle Mosh awards the best of the best. We call the Sizzler. That is the best of your emails and phone calls for the night. And to round it out here tonight, our good buddy, old school guy, OG Daniel. Or as Phil Villapiano told him, you should be OG Jack Daniel.
Hey, Murph, Mosh, Swaggy Jeff, it's OG Jack Daniels from the Chronicles of the Black Hole. Well, we got Combine Weekend and free agency and all that happening. But right now, I want to announce it's currently clickbait season, and they're targeting the nation because we're the biggest fan base. These alleged journalists, and let me explain the terminology. Inside sources and rumblings in the organization means I just pulled this story out of my ass 5 minutes ago. I'm tired of all the Carr rumors. Carr's going here, Carr's going there, Carr's going to the Giants, Carr's going to Cleveland. Yeah, no. Carr goes to Cleveland, I'll shit in my hat and wear it to church. I'm ranting because it's just so annoying. So avoid the clickbait if you can, guys. Be safe. Good talking to you again. Go Raiders.
Oh, boy, OG Daniel.
That's so damn funny.
So funny, man. Oh, my gosh. We appreciate you, OG Daniel, man. What a great call.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, Uncle Mosh, who's the best of the best tonight?
Oh, my gosh. Well, we started off with Matthew Mangus, and Matthew piped in there, and he had a couple good questions. He was brought up some good ideas, followed by Raider Jack, who we hadn't heard from in a long time, who made up for it. We hadn't heard from him in 3 years, and he made up for it, man. He brought it in his email tonight. And then Paul. Oh, my gosh. With he some outstanding shots at the way he brought in. I can't watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because there was a guy in there named Chief. You know, the Muppets movie Muppets Most Wanted sounds too much like a Queef's Draft Day. I mean, unbelievable.
Amazing,
unbelievable. Paul. It was phenomenal. And of course, Capo did a marathon. We would have got under an hour and a half show, but you know, Capo went for his own hour and a half show.
Well, you know
we
what?
love it.
Right? Like, I
Yeah, it was
seriously,
great.
like, Aaron, like, come on, man. Like, you just got to have a show here on the network.
I
Like,
know,
for
we
real.
we need to go the
And
like
Aaron
Capo
says in the
Network.
chat, he goes, my call still may be playing if Murph hadn't edited it down. Great edit, Murph.
But seriously, though, Capo, like, yeah, we want you to keep calling, but, you know, man, anytime you want a platform, we
Dude,
got you, man.
totally.
So good.
And then, of course, Kill Jadis brought it with his challenge match. You know, the challenge match, that line about, oh, not too bad for an amphibian, killed me.
That was good. That was
Killed
good.
me. It was so good. And I got to tell you, so right off the bat, I had written in, this is a visual cue, when I was reading Paulie's email, I said Sizzler quality, and I copied down the stuff here that he wrote. But the surprise at the last second was OG Daniel.
OG Daniel
Sizzler.
It was
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler. It was short, sweet, to the point, and it finished with, you know, if he goes to Cleveland, I'll shit in my hat and wear it to church. I mean, just amazing. Congratulations,
So good.
OG. I love you, man. That was amazing.
Great job, OG.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
OG sweeps in late and takes the silver award.
Shit in your hat.
So, you know what's funny is that there's, I have a story about shitting in your hat. I'll save that for another time, though.
Good.
Yeah. I love it. Jeff's like, oh, good. No, I don't want to hear that now.
No, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that next week.
I can't wait to not hear that.
I can't wait to miss that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So appreciate all of you that have joined us here tonight for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Appreciate all of you that have donated tonight, the amazing donations that have gone out to the One Nation Foundation. Remember, 100% of that money goes to all Raiders-related charities, mainly the Bolitnikoff Foundation. And if you, although we appreciate and will continue to appreciate the interaction and the chats, the live super chats that happen here at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. If you choose to give directly, if you're an audio listener, you can go to our website, RaidersFanRadio.com, click the One Nation Foundation button there, and then you can donate directly there. And 100% of that money, again, goes straight to the charity. And so thank you so very much to all of you that do that. Thank you to my co-host tonight. Thank you, Swag Jeff, for being here tonight. Thank you, Uncle Mosh, for being here tonight. So good to have a three-man booth. Jeff won't be here next week, but Mosh, you're a maybe?
I'm a maybe on that because I might have a work thing, but possibly, I got an audition coming up.
We'll be here one way or the other, so no matter what, check back in with us next week here on the YouTubes. Thank you so much, guys. Love you. Have a great night.
Yeah, man, for sure. Hey, thanks to everyone that donated. Several people did. We raised $130 tonight for the One Nation Foundation, so thank you very much. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Paul is in there. Tida Raider, Tyrone Graves, Fargo Raider, Chronicles of the Black Hole. Congrats on your Sizzler OG. B. Al, Raider Flash, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Freddie Chavez, Raider Gears and Threads. Let's see, Ebony Graves killed Jadis. The whole crew's here, man. We thank you all so very much each and every week for joining us. Everyone was calling this the comedy show, which is perfect because we're in the offiest of the off season. Why not, man? Let's have fun. Let's play.
Lighter side journey, man. Let's go.
We always do.
That's it, man. So I had a blast with you guys, of course, and Uncle Mosh, take us home.
All right, man. Well, it's so good to be back. It's so good for the three of us to be back, and we got to beat the shit out of each other. So it was great.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, what better way to start the show? You know. So thanks everybody for listening tonight. You got my little buddy Swaggy J to my right, and you got my little nephew, I almost called you Mosh, Murph to my left. Ladies
I'm
and
a
gentlemen,
mini Mosh.
You are a mini Mosh. You've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Don't worry about that blind horse. Just saddle up the wagon. What happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Adios, malingerers. Good night, everybody. Drive safe. Get your shots. God bless.
Goodbye.
Get on YouTube!